Cancer and National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. We are here with our panelist, John Pennington, the U.S. Army veteran and Assistant Veterans Service Center Manager for Chicago Regional Office, Veterans Benefits Administration, and he has a long resume that comes here. He was appointed as the Assistant Veterans Service Center Manager on August of 2019 for the Chicago VA Regional Office. He joined the Veterans Benefits Administration at the Indianapolis Regional Office in February of 2010. And this man has so many master's degrees, I'm trying to count them, but he has a master's degree of science degree in criminal justice. He has one in Christian leadership and is currently completing one in the science degree in athletic coaching. So he is a very, very busy man. And we also have with us one person, David Modis, who is serving in the U.S. Army Veterans Combat Wounded in Afghanistan War and Chicago Regional Benefits Administration claim processor, who trained and renewed employees to accurately process military sexual trauma claims. He is a combat wounded veteran of the war in Afghanistan. David began working as a claims processor with the Veterans Benefits Administration in 2009. Currently, his role is to assist in the training of new employees and audit claims accuracy on VBA employees. David is one of 7 mentors at the Chicago Regional Office who reviews and trains employees to accurately process military sexual trauma claims. It is an honor to have you. John, I'm going to have you lead off, and you can tell me a little bit about what you do and how important what you're doing is. I'm sure it is. I see veterans benefiting all the time. Hello, John?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. So tell us a little bit about what you're doing over at the Veterans Benefits Administration. It sounds like you are doing a great deal.
Yeah, so I'm happy to be here first off, but
great.
Yeah, so Chicago Regional Office is doing great things right now. As you know, due to this COVID, we've been teleworking pretty much 5 days a week, but I tell you, our employees haven't missed a beat. I mean, they're doing great things. I think we're ranked pretty high on production nationally, so we're doing a lot of great things for not only veterans for Chicago, but nationally. So, I mean, like I said, our employees haven't missed a beat with all this COVID thing. I mean, they're doing great things for the nation, so I just want to point that out, that our employees are just great, and then they just love serving veterans.
Yeah, they're serving the people who served, huh? And really, I feel, we have to really take a moment to think about all the things people are going, personal issues with their own families, and, this COVID-19 being something that is, in some parts, unpredictable. And the people who are actually working within the VA system and the hospitals, our hats go off to you. Many of you were service members previously, and you are still serving our nation. So we are so happy that you're doing what you do to make sure our nation stands together. So, but yeah, tell me a little bit more about what's going on as far as the, the sexual trauma issue, because this is, October is Breast Cancer and National Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I just had a person who did a wonderful job, actually, from the VA, talking about this white ribbon campaign and making sure that we actually have a focus on this. So what is it that your area does with assisting people with these particular issues?
Yeah, very good. So basically, if someone, a service member, has some sort of sexual trauma within the military, so we have outreach coordinators that actually reach out to them and speak with them on how to file a claim. And then once that happens, we have claim processors that we have dedicated to working these what we call special mission cases, where we try to use compassion and gather all the information we can to formulate a decision on a claim, to make sure that we navigate that process with sensitivity and urgency, to make sure we take care of these vulnerable veterans, to make sure that they get everything they need from the VA.
Oh, fantastic. And, tell me something about some of the stories that you've encountered, any success stories or things that you think people need to know about, how this actually sort of unfolds for people.
Right. So a lot of times, a service member, they don't understand what the VA does or what we can do. So when we have a lot of these outreach events, we will go out and talk to veterans, say, hey, here's what VA can do for you. I mean, we have medical treatment. We can help compensate you. Like some of the MSP, like it's very sensitive in nature, and we just need to make sure that we take care of these veterans. So, I mean, we have someone who will contact them via phone, either a male or a female, whatever they're more comfortable with on talking to us. And basically, we will help navigate the claim process. So I guess a success story is, like, we had a veteran back when I worked in Indianapolis that never heard of the VA or what it could do. They got out of service, and they thought they were on their own. But at that time, especially when I was in the military, there wasn't really a whole lot of outreaches. So not like what we have now, where we have VA reps go out and speak to service members who are separating from service. So we go more in detail what the VA can do. But go back to my story, at that point in time, this veteran didn't know anything about the VA. He just happened to stumble upon one of the outreach events that we had, like a ribbon event, and we were able to talk to him about his service. And we just had a long story on, like, what he encountered in service, some sort of sexual trauma, and we were able to lay out, like, hey, here's what we could do for you. We could help, like, gather evidence on your behalf. We could talk to you about what happened. We could link you up with medical professionals who will help you navigate, like, emotionally or physical harm that you may incur. And he got service-connected for it, and he was very grateful for what we could do. And that's kind of what we want to be here. We want to reach out to people and say, here's what the VA could do for you more, especially those older veterans who still don't know anything about the VA. We just want to make sure we continue to reach out to those folks.
Well, David, I want to thank you for your service. I did receive a little bit of injury myself over in Mosul, Iraq, but I really commend you for coming back and actually helping out on such a critical issue. And you're doing the claim processing, which actually is helping to save the lives of some of our veterans, because when they are in this whole issue surrounding military sexual trauma claims, it can be a life-threatening matter as well. And it can actually not only affect the quality of life, but even whether they're going to live or not. So tell us about what you do and why processing these claims is so important and how people actually do that.
Sure. So thank you for being here, and thank you for your service, too. One of the things that I do, and one of the things, my own personal experience with the VA is the VA, I feel, has really taken care of me since I've come back from the service, as far as going through the voc rehabilitation program, the GI Bill. It started as a work study within the VBA. It was hired within the VHA and transferred over to the VBA. So I feel like the VBA and the VA itself is my family. And one of the great things that we do is not only by providing benefits on a monetary basis to service members for injuries that are incurred in the service, but also the health care eligibility that's allowed to them. So, if they get to receive service connection for a disability, they can receive free health care for that condition without copay at the VA Medical Center. And depending upon what percentage they're assigned with us, they may have free health care for anything that they need, so not just the service-connected disabilities. I started within the VA about 10 years ago as a person who developed the claims, gathered all the evidence, and would request examinations for the individuals to go to medical examiner to try to get that opinion and find out if that condition that we're sending them to an exam for, if it's related to service or not, and then present that entire packet off to a rater who makes a determination on that case and would assign a percentage, grant or deny benefits and assign that percentage. MST is extremely sensitive in that, a lot of these individuals don't realize that just because they did not report their trauma, in service to anybody by going to sick call or going to the hospital or to a clinic.
Yes.
There's other means for us to try to put pieces together in that puzzle to show that something did happen in service. If maybe they did go to sick call, but they got cold feet and then decided to say that they were there for something else. Maybe they were going for pregnancy tests. Or maybe they're afraid that because of the trauma that they incurred that they should be treated or checked for an STD. So if there's some unexplained things going on, we can piece all that together to show that something actually happened. So I don't want any veteran out there to think that just because they didn't report it in service that they're not eligible for the benefits that we can provide to them, not only just the monetary benefits and compensation, but also the health care. Because one of the things that we want for all of our veterans is to ensure that they're healthy and that everything's being taken care of, especially considering that the health of the veteran, they're not alone in this. So everybody's got a family, whether it's brothers, sisters, siblings, a spouse, or children. Their family is along in that experience with them. Yes. So we want to ensure that everybody's in a safe environment. We want to ensure that veterans can come to us for something. Then that's one of the reasons why we do outreach. That's one of the reasons why we have coordinators that reach out to everybody and try to feel like this is a safe place for them to speak about their experiences, and we will help you along the way. If we need to go out to a local authority to try to find a report because it didn't happen on a military base, we can do that for them. If they file the restricted trauma within the military, we can ask for a privacy release so that we can obtain that restricted report that is usually under tape and seal. Nobody else can get it. But we try to take those steps to help them through the process of their claim. We never want to deny anybody benefits. We always want to grant the benefits. As of now, my current role in the VA is to conduct quality on individuals who are developing the claims and gathering the evidence. So I audit cases. Along with that, I train. Right now we have 5 different MST coordinators that gather evidence, and I help the Chicago Regional Office train those individuals, and we ensure that that they've done quite a number of cases and that they have a 90% accuracy on those cases. So wow. We do not want just anybody working those cases, and we don't want them to have putting together a package and delaying claims because we having to rework something, and we miss something, we're having to go out for something additional because that rater is not able to make a determination at that time. So yes. It's a really great thing. A lot of our MST coordinators, they're wonderful people. They really enjoy working these types of claims and being able to provide that personal assistance to those veterans.
Yeah, it's really interesting because you made me think about one thing is that, people, you have people of poor moral character and they're just combative and that kind of thing. But, sometimes mental illness, drugs and alcohol abuse and PTSD, TBI, and you have multiple deployments and family separation and reintegration. All these things are happening in a service member's life sometimes that can lead to more conflict arising. And, and this goes beyond intimate partner violence, right? Because it can be someone that you're not even, that you have no relationship with, or someone who's imposing some type of sexual trauma on you that's not related to intimate partner violence. And so how do people, many times people feel embarrassed or they feel like this is no big deal, or they're trying to protect someone's career, or they're afraid of their own career, the repercussions with them when they're going through this. So, where the people can call for this? Is there like a national domestic violence hotline, or how do people get engaged with you? So they can call us at the 1-800-827-1000. And there are VA representatives there. That's our national call center, and they should be able to assist anybody. There's another. If you just go to Google and Google VA MST, which is short for military sexual trauma, or even if you Google VA military sexual trauma, VA has an ad. It should pop up first thing right there for you to click on, and it gives an overview of VA wide, whether you're looking at for healthcare services or if you're looking for us as far as benefits administration.
There's a lot of information on there. There's contact information for the healthcare contacts and coordinators, closest to you. Probably you can look up by your zip code and your state. Same thing with, John might talk about this, but even as far as the benefits administration, your station here is in Chicago. We have our own individuals, but I'm sure your audience goes across the border into Indiana. Indiana also has special processors, just like we do, that handle these cases specifically, whether they're the ones that are developing the claim and gathering the evidence or the ones that are rating the cases. But the ones that are developing the cases and gathering the evidence, they're the ones that would be reaching out to the veteran who filed the claim. But even if they wanted to know how to file a claim, there's an email address for those coordinators for them to reach out, for that veteran to reach out to that coordinator.
Oh, great, because you're talking to the nation right now, actually international. We are iHeartRadio as well, linked. So you're speaking to a very large audience.
Terrific.
We're getting calls from everywhere. But, one thing, before we move on to John about that issue, I was wondering, is there a statute of limitations, or how does this work? Is someone able to bring this up, because you were saying after separation from service that is something that people can also approach?
No, there's no statute of limitations for this.
Okay.
And I do want to point out, it's not just veteran service members that can file these claims, but also individuals who are getting close to that time of being discharged. So we can even accept claims from people who are currently on active duty, so especially seeing this is across the nation, international. If there's any service member out there currently serving who's experienced something like this, and if they need help and they don't maybe feel comfortable speaking to somebody at the DOD, maybe they want to come to the VA and see what's available to them and how we can help them through the process of them being discharged, and not only just for military sexual trauma incidents, but anything else going on in their life, that they may be afraid of with that transition.
Huh.
So
that's really great to know, because people just need that help out there. We know a lot of veterans are going through a lot of issues, trying to readjust to coming back into society, and this is a big burden they don't really have to carry if they reach out to you and address the issue. I'm really happy about that. But John, maybe you can give us some more information about how this thing works and how, what's your perspective on it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like David mentioned, if you don't know who to contact, if you don't want to call the 1-800-827-1000 number, like you said, if you just Google VA MSC coordinators, or if you go to va.gov and search MSC coordinators, it will bring you up alphabetically by state who the coordinators are, so you can reach out to them directly via email, and they will get in contact with you pretty quickly. Like David said, these are some very stellar employees who want to work these cases, so we just don't tell people, hey, you're working these cases. These are actually employees who want to work these cases. So you have advocates for you, and will help you navigate through the whole claim process if you need them to.
Oh, fantastic.